President Trump's sweeping tariffs take effect. Americans now bracing for higher prices. The president imposing the highest tariffs in nearly a century on almost every U.S. trading partner. Dozens of countries now paying between 10 and 50% more to ship their goods into the U.S. President Trump insisting it will boost American manufacturing. But economists warning American buyers will likely pay the higher costs on everything from food to clothing to electronics. Mary Bruce at the White House. The images coming in tonight, the fiery mid-air scare on board a passenger jet over the Atlantic, a mobile charger catching fire. Two state troopers ambushed, responding to a call, both wounded. One trooper applying a tourniquet to another. What we've just learned about the alleged shooter. The deadly crash of a helicopter into a barge on the Mississippi River. At least 2 people killed, part of the river temporarily closed. 24 hours after the chaotic shooting at Fort Stewart, the Army Secretary awarding medals to 6 soldiers unarmed when they jumped into action, taking down the suspected gunman and treating the wounded. Overseas tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's pushing forward with his plan to temporarily take control of Gaza, what this could mean for hostages still held by Hamas. Late today, President Trump pressed about his possible meeting with Vladimir Putin as early as next week, trying to end the war in Ukraine. After first suggesting Putin and President Zelensky must meet first, what he said just moments ago in the Oval Office. Multiple wildfires and record-breaking heat, temperatures up to 118 degrees in the West. Singer and talk show host Kelly Clarkson's personal loss, her ex-husband dying after battling cancer, her Las Vegas residency postponed so she can be with her children. And a new study on weight loss drugs. Is a daily pill more effective than the weekly shot?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday night. I'm Wade Johnson in for David. And we begin tonight with President Trump's sweeping new tariffs that took effect at midnight, the highest tariffs in nearly a century on dozens of countries, almost every U.S. trading partner. American business owners and consumers now bracing for the effects. In the Oval Office today, the president touting the economy under his presidency, and the White House insisting the tariffs will boost U.S. manufacturing. But tariffs are beginning to put a drag on business earnings, from Caterpillar to Black & Decker to Hershey, and that's bringing down stocks. The Dow closing down 224 points. And for everyday Americans, tariffs could cost the average household $2,400 a year, according to economists. The price of imported produce could rise 7%. A new car could jump almost $6,000. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce leads us off.
Tonight, American business owners and consumers bracing for impact as President Trump's tariffs on nearly every U.S. trading partner snapped into place, the highest tariffs in nearly 100 years. The president posting, "It's midnight. Billions of dollars in tariffs are now flowing into the United States of America." Those new tariffs ranging from 10 to a staggering 50%. Brazil market, leaving small business owners like Marcia Campos, who owns the Brazil Market and Butcher Shop in Marietta, Georgia, scrambling.
It's pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little bit apprehensive what the next steps will be.
I've been making transitions.
Craig Vittori owns Craig's Coffee in Detroit. He says he has no choice but to pass along higher prices to his consumers.
I was absorbing that cost at first, but now I'm actually increasing prices and slowly moving those costs to my customers.
The tariffs are paid by companies importing products, but economists warn these costs will likely be passed on to consumers. Americans could pay more for everything from electronics and toys to clothing and furniture. Fresh produce prices are expected to rise 7%. The average price of a new car could jump by $5,800 in the short run. By one estimate, the tariffs could cost the average household $2,400 a year. While it could take time for families to feel the effects, tonight companies worldwide are already reporting record losses because of the tariffs. Japan-based Toyota says it expects a $9.5 billion hit to its profits from the U.S. tariffs. And American cosmetics company e.l.f. Beauty reporting their profits fell 30% as new tariffs on Chinese imports took effect. But the president adamant his tariffs will boost manufacturing in the U.S.
Under the Trump administration, we're doing everything possible to make this the best place on earth to build a factory or grow businesses.
So let's get right to Mary Bruce at the White House. And Mary, beyond the tariffs today, the president also announcing major changes to Americans' 401k retirement plans.
Yeah, when millions of Americans saving for retirement through a 401k could soon have the option of investing their money in private equity and cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Of course, many of the top cryptocurrency firms invested heavily in President Trump's campaign, and his own family's crypto ventures could stand to benefit from this.
All right, Mary, thank you. Now to the midair scare on a transatlantic flight. A passenger's mobile charger sparking a fire, the crew racing to put it out in the dramatic new video just coming in tonight. Here's ABC's Mola Langhi.
Tonight, panic and chaos over the middle of the Atlantic Ocean after a fire erupted on a KLM flight from Sao Paulo to Amsterdam. Brazilian officials say it was sparked by a passenger's mobile charger. You can hear frantic passengers as crew members rushed to try to extinguish the fire as smoke filled the cabin, some on board covering their faces with pillows and towels to protect themselves. The crew finally able to put out the fire, and that flight touching down in Amsterdam as planned. Relieved passengers breaking out in applause as they landed. And wait, if you ever wonder why airlines always ask passengers to remove and to keep their lithium batteries with them in the cabin and not in their checked luggage, well, this is why.
With an important reminder, Mola Langhi, thank you. We move now to the deadly crash of a helicopter into a barge on the Mississippi River. At least 2 people killed, part of the river and a nearby bridge temporarily shut down. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, 2 people are dead after authorities say this helicopter clipped a power line and crashed into a barge on the Mississippi River, north of St. Louis.
And it's exploding right now. It's exploding right now.
The chopper catching fire, smoke billowing into the sky.
Coast Guard received a report of a helicopter crashing and landing on a barge. All vessels are requested to maintain a sharp lookout. Assist if possible.
All of a sudden, it touched the line, and in 2 seconds, it wasn't a helicopter anymore. It was 1,000 pieces.
The crash happening around 11 a.m., prompting a massive response. Officials shutting down river traffic and closing part of the nearby Lewis and Clark Bridge.
There are hazardous materials, including propane, on the barge and electrical lines in the water.
Officials evacuating the immediate area. A local electrical contractor confirming to ABC News the helicopter was assisting with repairs to a tower when the crash happened. And with the NTSB says it is now investigating. The electrical contractor is cooperating. Authorities say no one was injured on the barge during that crash.
Morgan Norwood for us tonight. Thank you. Now to northeastern Pennsylvania. 2 state troopers ambushed and both wounded while responding to a call. One trooper applying a tourniquet to another. What we've just learned about the alleged shooter. Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky.
Tonight, 2 state troopers ambushed and shot in northeastern Pennsylvania.
State Road 171 at Township. Stage off to the scene. Multiple gunshot victims.
It happened just after 11 a.m. in Susquehanna County when the troopers responded to a woman's call for help during a domestic dispute, and they immediately came under fire.
Upon their arrival, they were immediately fired upon and ambushed. They are very lucky to be alive.
Troopers Joseph Perchinsky and William Jenkins were airlifted to the hospital after a man shot at them with a rifle. Perchinsky put a tourniquet on his partner, who officials say was shot in the chest and back. Tonight, the governor praising the troopers' actions.
He acted decisively, he acted thoughtfully, and the work he did today exemplifies the absolute best of the Pennsylvania State Police.
When the gunfire stopped, police said the woman and the armed suspect were both found dead. And we've just learned Whit, an EMS worker, was also injured in the chaos tonight. Those 2 troopers are stable. The governor lauding them for running toward danger. Whit.
Aaron Katersky, thank you. 24 hours after that mass shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia, the Army honoring 6 soldiers for their heroic actions during the attack. All of them were unarmed. Army Secretary saying their fast action absolutely saved lives from being lost. ABC's Faith Abube reporting from Fort Stewart tonight.
At Fort Stewart today, Army Secretary Dan Driscoll honoring the men and women who jumped into action to save lives when investigators say a fellow soldier opened fire on the base, wounding 5 of their own.
They were unarmed and ran at and tackled an armed person who they knew was actively shooting their buddies, their colleagues, their fellow soldiers.
Sergeant Turner exhibited extraordinary courage. The Army Secretary embracing Sergeant Aaron Turner, who confronted and disarmed the accused shooter. 28-year-old Sergeant Cornelius Radford seen here being transferred to jail after his arrest. Sergeant Turner saying Radford claimed he wasn't going to hurt fellow soldiers and that he was focused on leadership.
He's not going to end up hurting any of the soldiers. It's pretty much dealing with leadership.
He was dealing with leadership and he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
Turner says he grabbed the suspect and disarmed the gun and with the help of another soldier, stopped him from reloading. Was there a struggle?
Yes, the whole time through.
He was fighting back.
Yeah, we're trying to hold it.
Other soldiers ran toward the gunfire to treat the wounded.
I'd look up and a soldier saying, I got shot, I got shot, I got shot. Immediately put the soldier on the ground, got the top off, rendered aid, tried to stop bleeding.
We just kept him stable until the ambulance got there.
Tonight, the Army says they're continuing their investigation into Radford and how he allegedly got a personal gun inside Fort Stewart. Sergeant Turner says he saw no warning signs.
Did you consider him a friend?
Yeah. As far as the interactions, you've never seen anything wrong with him. He's always a happy-go-lucky guy.
And when Army investigators are drawing up charges against the accused shooter, he's likely to be transferred into a military facility. Meantime, 2 of the victims remain in the hospital, but all 5 of them are expected to make a full recovery.
Encouraging news there. Faith Abube, thank you. Next tonight, a major escalation in the war in Gaza. Prime Minister Netanyahu saying Israel intends to take control of all of Gaza temporarily and eventually transfer control of it to Arab forces. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell joins us now from Israel. And Ian, what could these comments mean for ceasefire negotiations and the remaining hostages?
Yeah, well, this is a significant and controversial decision, and it flies in the face of international and domestic opposition. Expanding the war to occupy all of Gaza ends any short-term hopes of a ceasefire, and it means hundreds of thousands of people being forcibly relocated in the midst of what most concede is a humanitarian crisis. Military leaders fear it could take months and risks Israeli forces becoming bogged down with no clear exit strategy. There have been widespread demonstrations here in Israel against the plans this evening, and the families of the hostages still being held in Gaza condemning the move, saying it'll endanger the lives of their loved ones.
Ian Pannell, thank you. Now to that developing headline on a possible face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. The White House today appearing to change course on the conditions of that meeting. Late today, President Trump saying it does not need to include President Zelensky. So let's get right to Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz. And Martha, what more are you learning tonight?
Well, what President Trump had wanted a summit together with Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's President Zelensky, but tonight President Trump is saying he is now open to a one-on-one meeting with Putin. Putin made clear today that a meeting with Zelensky is off the table for now, saying that conditions for that are still far away. Trump had threatened to hit Russia with new sanctions tomorrow if a ceasefire was not reached. Asked tonight if that deadline still holds, the president said that will be up to Putin. The Russians have suggested the meeting will take place soon in the coming days. Putin saying it could be held in the UAE.
Martha Raddatz, thank you. Back here in the U.S., the searing heat and critical fire danger tonight. 45 million Americans on alert across the West and the Plains. Phoenix reaching 117 degrees, breaking a daily record for the second day in a row and tying the hottest August temperature ever recorded. ABC's Trevor Ault is in Palm Springs, California, where it's too hot for some airplanes to land.
Tonight, multiple wildfires in record-breaking heat baking the West. North of Los Angeles, the Canyon Fire igniting in Ventura County. The temperature near 100 degrees, winds gusting to 25 miles per hour.
The fire continuing to burn out of control, spreading rapidly towards the east.
Outside San Diego at Fletcher Hills Elementary School in El Cajon, it was an extremely hot first day back to school.
We have a backup plan for high heat where students will eat and play indoors.
Phoenix hitting 117 degrees today, shattering a daily record for the second day in a row. The numbers extreme even for them. And in Colorado, record temperatures fueling multiple wildfires. The Lee Fire erupting overnight, now some 70 square miles in size, threatening the town of Meeker. Back in California, the Gifford Fire north of Santa Barbara is now the largest fire in the state so far this year, burning more than 150 square miles.
With here at Palm Springs Airport, the airlines can only send planes that can handle the heat, and it's 117 outside. The asphalt is 163 degrees. That is simply too hot for some airplanes to handle.
All right, Trevor, all for us. Thank you. When we come back, a major study looking at a new daily weight loss pill, how it measures up to weekly injections. Kelly Clarkson's personal loss, the death of her ex-husband, Clarkson now postponing her Las Vegas residency. And the technical glitch grounding United Airlines flights nationwide, hundreds of flights canceled or delayed, what the airline is now saying. Tonight, United Airlines is slowly resuming service after a nationwide outage. A computer glitch grounding flights for hours last night. More than 200 flights canceled, over 1,000 delayed. United says they resolved the issue, but the ripple effects still being felt. 168 flights were canceled again today. The airline says they are paying for meals and hotels for affected passengers. A major study looking at a new daily weight loss pill and how it stacks up to weekly injections. Eli Lilly says the drug shows promise in pill form and could rival such drugs as Mounjaro and Zepbound. In clinical trials, patients taking the pill lost an average of 27 pounds in 72 weeks. Results are similar or slightly less than injections. The company expects to request FDA approval by the end of the year. When we come back, Kelly Clarkson's family suffering a devastating loss and remembering a musical trailblazer. Singer and talk show host Kelly Clarkson postponing her Las Vegas residency following the death of her ex-husband, Brendan Blackstock, dying at the age of 48 after battling cancer for more than 3 years. Clarkson postponed her remaining dates just yesterday to be with her children. And a passing to note, groundbreaking Latin music icon Eddie Palmieri has died. Widely regarded as one of the greatest musical minds of the last century, composer, bandleader, and pianist, he reshaped the sound of salsa and Latin jazz, creating a bold new style of music. A 9-time Grammy winner, his influence spanning generations. Eddie Palmieri was 88. When we come back, the 12-year-old boy and his favorite NFL team making his wish a reality. Finally tonight, the 12-year-old boy and a wish come true, playing quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Tonight, a once-in-a-lifetime wish come true for a very deserving young football fan. 12-year-old Jace Garland from just outside Asheville has been battling a rare blood condition that's a precursor to leukemia, receiving a bone marrow transplant just last year and steadily getting better. His doctors have just cleared him to return to school this fall for the 7th grade. Jace loves his home state Carolina Panthers, and when the Make-A-Wish Foundation heard about him, it's no surprise Jace asked if he could be their quarterback for the day. A new quarterback, the team inviting Jace to the stadium, documenting the day, Jace walking with the mascot, signing autographs, the head coach introducing him to the team.
The Panthers signed Jace Garland as another quarterback right here. Let's hear it for Jace.
We get fit for helmet? Taking measurements for his helmet, a perfect fit. Jace's name on the locker, his jersey, number 26. The team helping him put his uniform on. And before the big game, Jace on the field.
Let's go, baby. Hey, good job, buddy. Good job. Nervous? Yeah.
Getting some advice from the pros.
Ball security. Get the pads down, you can get in there, I promise, all right?
And now, hit it quarterback. Make some noise for number 26, Jace Garland.
A few last words from the coach.
You gotta hold on to that ball with everything you got, okay? We're going to.
Then it's game time.
Come on, ready?
Running right into the end zone for a touchdown. The team celebrating after, cheering for Jace. Looking good in that uniform, too. What a moment. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Wade Johnson. Have a great night.